Yay! We made it. I am so happy to be here. Um, Welcome, Christina Wolf here, and this is the weekly card pull party for Sunday, March 11th, 2018. Um, as you can tell from my hair, it's been a crazy weekend for me. We're still moving. And as you can tell, I am still in my office in my old house because we weren't going to have internet until Tuesday of next week. So we're like, you know what? We're just going to stretch this out because it happens to be spring break. And our little guy doesn't have school. So unfortunately, my hair is all kind of crazy because in addition to moving, I did my shaman training today, and I smell like sage and everything. And we were doing our shamanic journeying and whatnot. So I'm going to give it a few minutes to see if anybody pops on because I know it's a different time of day, and hopefully y'all got the time change. There's going to be just a few weekends where the card pull will be a little bit later in the day, and I'll announce it that week. And that's because I'm still doing my shaman training on the weekends. And there will be two. If you're just popping on, say hi, hello, thank you for coming. Hi, Shelly, how are you? Thanks for joining. I was just announcing that there's a couple of upcoming weekends where either the time will change, and I'll make sure I'll announce which ones they are. Like it was a little bit later today. Normally they're at 2 p.m. Central Time. But I have my shaman training on a few certain Sundays coming up. I think either 3 or 4 Sundays may be disrupted, so the time will just be a little bit later, like now, probably about 5. I originally scheduled it for 5, and then we were still moving and doing some crazy stuff today, so hopefully the other ones will be at 5 p.m. and then the regular ones will be back at 2 p.m. So you let me know actually which time works best for you. In May, the first 2 weekends, it's going to be, I'm going to have to record it because I'm doing some crime scene training, CSI training, and they're literally 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. all weekend. And so I don't know that I will be able to break away to do a card pull. So I'll make sure that I record a card pull and post it for the week ahead of time so you guys have something at least. So that said, if you're just coming on, let me know. Say hi, hello. I'm happy to have you. And again, like I was saying, I'm moving this weekend. I had some shaman training. It's been kind of a crazy week, but a good week, a good crazy week. And it's funny, most of the ladies in my shaman circle were saying it felt pretty intense for them too. So let me know how your week has gone, and we're going to focus on the week ahead. And if you would like a card pull from my Herbal Tarot deck, you let me know if you're coming on now. This is the deck I typically use. It's the Herbal Tarot by Michael Tierra. He's an herbalist, and Candace Canton, she's the artist. I like it because, one, it's unique, and also because it does plant medicine. So, which is a huge deal for me. I've always been fond of herbal medicine. Hi there, if you're just popping on, say hi to us. Happy to have you. I don't want to recant all my announcements, but or go over them again, but basically there's going to be just a few time changes in the next few weeks. So if you're just popping on, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Kim. Yeah, I'll definitely do one for you as well. In fact, let me get a little pen so I can write down everybody's info here. Stand by. And if you notice, if you're just popping on and you haven't been on here in a while, it's pretty barren because I'm moving this weekend. And we decided to, so that I could still have Wi-Fi and be able to be here for you guys. We wouldn't move the computer in my office until Tuesday. So next week I should be in my new office. Yay! So one for Shelly, one for Kim. Awesome. I know Deb was talking about coming on as well, so I'm pretty sure Deb would like one. So hopefully she'll pop on very soon. In the meantime, hope y'all are well. Let me know how your week has gone. I'm trying to just see if a few more people will come on before I get started here. Just a few more minutes. Meantime, I'm going to start shuffling the cards. Like I said, I did my shaman training today, and we did something really cool. I don't know if you heard of shamanic journeying, but we did a shamanic journey, and we also met our chakra spirit animals. It was pretty cool. If you're just coming on, say hi. Welcome. And if you'd like a card pulled, put your request in the comments. I'll get you down on the list. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Yeah, so, all right, cool. Let's get this party started. Yeah, so what I normally do is, as I'm shuffling, I kind of talk about my week and sort of the week ahead. And, oh, so Samantha, how are you? I'm happy you're here. For the chakra spirit animals, you actually get one for each chakra, which I'd never heard of before. And so, but your animal at birth is, one that's been with you, obviously since birth. And, I learned the difference between spirit guides, spirit, animal totems. And I can definitely do a little mini class on that if y'all are interested. Because I was a bit confused, because some animals their spirits can be messengers, but they're not necessarily your totem. And I wasn't completely clear on what a totem was versus just, your spirit animal and that sort of thing. They all serve different purposes. But as a general rule, messenger animals are there just to give you a specific message. And a totem is one that you draw on the strengths and weaknesses of the attributes of those animals. So mine in particular, the one at birth, of course, I seem to always be affiliated with the wolf, but the wolf turned out to be, yeah, I think it's always going to be there, but more like a journeying animal, like one that guides you on your journeys. And again, I'd love to give a little class about all the different animals and their spirits. That would be really cool. Because for me, it was still mind-boggling. So again, if you're just popping on, let me know if you'd like a card. So far I got Shelly, Kimberly, Samantha, Michelle, and if anybody else is just popping on that I didn't catch, let me know. Make sure if I didn't list you or at the end, just pop on, hey, you forgot me. So, because I'm kind of a space cadet. So anyway, yeah, so the journey that we did, believe it or not, my animal, the birth animal, was a jaguar. For some reason, I really was like, wow, this is cool. I really find, and I don't know about you, but I'm a big geek when it comes to watching TV. And I like watching Nat Geo and like BBC America, the Blue Planet 2 came out. And if you're into, animal medicine, you will absolutely love like all of these documentaries, because they're visually stunning, and two, you see some really awesome film footage that, like, you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. You can get an idea of like, wow, what is my spirit animal like? For example, eagles. There was a really good segment about golden eagles last night, and they were like fighting over a fox carcass. And I don't know, I was like, wow, you know what? I'd much rather watch this than like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And it keeps me attuned to nature. So yeah, check that out, BBC America. Blue Planet 2. You can even get it on Blu-ray if you want. But as I've been talking, I've been shuffling my herbal deck here. And I'm infusing it with the energy for the week. But before that, what I want to do, which is very customary in shamanic medicine, is to call in the four winds. And if I wasn't sitting here in front of a computer, I would literally be facing that area. So for me, the east is over here. So I would like to call in the winds of the east. Thank you for the spirit from the east. This, I believe, is, you know, in different religions, it can be the fire element, okay? And that is where the sun comes up, so fire. Thank you for the winds of the east for bringing in all the new energy of a new day, of the void, where all things begin, and where the spirit of the eagle, condor, that gives us the 30,000-foot view. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us. And then we call that the springtime of our life, where, you know, all life begins. And now we call in the winds of the south, which is behind me, actually, just happens to be. This is the earth element. This is where Brother Snake, he slithers along the earth, and he teaches us how to shed old skin. And it's the summertime of our life, and the earth winds bring us the ability to come to fruition and be in the height of our creativity. So thank you, thank you, thank you, winds of the south. And next, we welcome in the winds of the west. This is the water element. This is where Brother Jaguar, all his tenacious energy, helps us to work through rites of passage. This is the fall of our lifetime. This is the learning to let go, or learning to come into our own, basically. And we thank you, winds of the west. And winds of the west are all things renewal, basically. Thank you, thank you, thank you, winds of the west. And then the winds of the north. This is the place of our ancestors. This is the air element. And depending on if you go through the native, the red road, this is where spirit of caribou and elk and all of the four-legged hoofed creatures are. And if you're through the South American modality, this is spirit of hummingbird, where light or Sami energy comes from. And so either way, we thank you for joining us. This is, like I said, the spirit of our ancestors. This is the winter of your lifetime. This is where you culminate all of your wisdom that you've learned in this earth. So we thank you, winds of the north, and we will also thank, of course, Mother Earth. And I'm touching the wherever you're at. If you can feel earth, the bottom of your feet, maybe where you're sitting in your chair, the backs of your thighs, anything that you think is figuratively touching Mother Earth. Thank you for giving us a place to live. Thank you for grounding us. Thank you for providing an abundant, beautiful place for us. And then, of course, Father Sky, the air that we breathe, the star nations, all the unknown, and Grandmother Moon and Grandfather Sun, all of our archangels, spirit guides, spirits of our ancestors gone to the other side. Thank you for joining us. And benevolent light beings. And only that which is of the light shall join us here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here and providing us with your guidance. Hi there. If you're just popping on, we're just opening up sacred space so I can do this card pull for you. So I've got Shelly, Kimberly, Samantha, Michelle, And if anyone's just popped on and you'd like a card, let me know. So what I do first is I pull 3 cards, one for Monday, Tuesday, one for Wednesday, Thursday, and then one for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then another one for the overall energy of the week. And then I'll get to the individual ones. So I'm happy everybody's joined us. This is exciting. If you'd like a card and I did not get you, yeah, okay, cool. Shanna and Christy. I'm sorry if I mispronounce names. I'm terrible. Shanna, Christy, got it. Okay, cool. All right, so now I always begin with, as I've been talking and opening sacred space, I've been shuffling, but I'm going to break the deck or cut the deck with my left hand, because the left hand is always, the left side of your body is spirit. In the shaman world, you walk in 2 worlds. There's the physical world, there's the spirit world, and masculine, feminine. Masculine could be, in theory, the world in front of your eyes, and the feminine could be the world behind your eyes. So we always want to receive from spirit with our left hand. So I'm going to cut the deck with my left hand in 3, because 3 is a very holy number. And I will also add that I always like to ask for Mother Mary and Jesus' presence, because I just really like them, and they're just beautiful guides for me, and they're always here with me anyway. Oh, and I will say this. I wanted to tell you as I'm cutting the deck. When I moved into my new house, I think y'all saw some of the posts. There was this beautiful little white feather right in the corner of the lawn. I was like, it's a sign. It's a sign from my angels. Like, oh, I'm protected. It was a good sign. So I was really happy with that. And then as I was walking into the entrance, I got a little penny on the sidewalk. So I feel like pennies to me are like your relatives and people from the other side that are just letting you know, hey, we're here. And so I always feel like my grandmother comes through to me really loud and clear, and she was letting me know she was there. And I will say this, as soon as we got there, both our neighbors to the left and the right came out, and they were like super nice. So like I'm feeling really good about this move. The lady to the left of us, she happens to have 5 cats, and my son adores cats, and my guy can't stand pets. So he's like all in 7th heaven. He gets to play with a bunch of cats now with the lady next door. So already it's an auspicious move. So now I'm cutting the deck. And I'm going to pull with my right hand. Well, this one just popped right out. Okay, great. Almost good. This one's for Wednesday, Thursday. This one's for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I'll tell you all, I do have also animal medicine cards, and I can do a medicine wheel pull for those, but that's a little bit different. I like tarot when I'm doing like a weekly card reading, because they are a really crystal clear way to, I guess, interpret energy. And where to me, animal medicine cards are more like specific situations. So, but we'll get to that in a minute. Anyways, so now I just did the card pull. So this is going to be for Monday, Tuesday. Okay, so if you haven't been on here before and you don't know, I use the herbal deck, and I wish I could take a photo of it and like just leave it up in the corner here. There's a bit of a glare. If you're familiar, pentacles tend to be, I believe, the earth element, okay? So I'm still learning a little bit about different tarot decks, and I have found that in the different pagan segments of religion, like, it doesn't really matter which one it is. Some say, like, you know, the pentacles mean this, or this one means that element, or whatever. But ultimately, whatever you believe is true for you, that's what's true for you. So Monday, Tuesday, 10 of Pentacles. And the element that's associated, or the herb that's associated with it, is the wild yam. Okay, so I'm going to look this up here. Anybody familiar with wild yam? When I think of wild yam, I think of the medicine that women going through menopause take, and I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. So something to do with being earthy, right? Because a yam is a root vegetable. And 10 of Pentacles. Pardon me while I kind of get my bearings. Anyways, okay, so the 10 Pentacles climbing up the card indicate the multitude of inner virtues, values, skills, talents, established conditions, inheritance, and material possessions that have accumulated and are available for use. So this is really powerful for me because I recently went back to work as a deputy, and at first the message to me was like, wow, you know what, everybody has like these very unique perspectives because only you have been through this experience or that experience, and you get to combine all of your experiences to form a unique lens that only you view the world through. And this is what makes you perfect and unique, and you know, this is what makes you an amazing talent, because maybe somebody needs to hear something just from you. Only way, you know, maybe they can only receive it the way you can say it. So this is really important. Start taking inventory of like, what are all of the ways that my very unique perspectives are a gift, and what can I offer? That's been a really big thing on my mind too. Like, what, instead of like, you know, what can I get from this situation? More or less, what can I offer this week? What can I offer with my unique perspective and with my gifts? So there's a sense of consolidation of past experiences and an opening for new opportunities from this foundation. So your very unique experiences make you perfect for some new things coming up. So my skills working, you know, in the shamanic healing and the spiritual coaching, also as a deputy, I feel I'm really being called to work with like victim advocacy for like children and things like that. Ultimately, I'm hoping to become what we have is called a child safe investigator. These are the investigators who respond to kind of like the special victims unit. And so I realized like Spirit really wanted to use me in this sense. Like I was called to go back to this work for this very reason. And the other thing I want to mention that's coming through is you can make a difference in a very mundane way, like a very, this has been like on my heart like all last week. I was talking about in conversations about the universe. The things, your special gifts, you can apply them in everyday moments, like with the day in and day out, like you're walking through the office and you want to say hi to the lady who cleans the restrooms. These are ways that you can bring light to your world in very mundane ways, okay? And I hate that word mundane, but like, how about let's replace that with simple, very simple ways. But actually, the simplest ways over time hold the greatest meaning. You know, that's how people remember you. Like, hey, that person always said hello to me, or this person was kind to me during a time when it could have been, you know, they could have chose to do something else. So we always have a choice. So choose well in very mundane moments. So the house in the background indicates stability, solidity, belonging, and comfort. When one has talents or a wealth of inner values and virtues, it is important to share and utilize these tools in some form of service to the community around you. So again, that's that feeling of service. Like, you can serve in very simple ways with your special talents. And you may think, who, me? I don't have any talents. Yes, you do. Think about it. What have you been through in your life? One of the things Oprah's talking about on her 60-minute interview tonight, the life-changing question, she's interviewing Dr. Bruce Perry. He's a renowned researcher for child trauma. And it's the lens of, instead of what's wrong with that person when they do stuff like Dr. Bruce Perry, he's followed the victims of Columbine shooting, like anyone affected by that. And other very high profile situations like that. And you want to ask, like, what was wrong with these boys? And, you know, that Florida shooting recently, the school shooting, what you want to say, what's wrong with these people? But the question is more, what happened to them? And you, in your very unique talents of your own perspective, you may be able to understand like where people are coming from. So the feeling is, use your own experiences to recognize the humanness in other people. So by being willing to show the world your talents and whatever they may be, you can be assured that there will be a return flow. For those who have accumulated wealth in one form or another, it is important not to become fearful of losing it all. Another thing's popping up. One of the big things about, and I'm just saying as it applies to me, but maybe that you'll hear this. I went back to work because sometimes when you're doing really profound sacred work, spiritual healing work, if it becomes your source of income, it sort of clouds integrity. And what I mean by that is you lose perspective around, am I doing this because I really feel called by the divine, or am I doing this because I need to pay the bills? And there's nothing worse than that. So when you want to be in right relationship with yourself and be of service, this I found for me, having a quote job, you know, some form of income, it frees you up to stay in creative right relationship as you're doing service. And then, you know, your energy can flow as you like. And if you start to earn from that, that's what they're referring to, the return flow. So like money, when you receive money for any service that you give, is going to be, it's not like you're getting money from a person. It's divine compensation for divine service. So money comes through people. The message comes through you. The work comes through you. The money in return from your client or whoever you're serving will be, you know, you see, it's always the flow of energy. So one can get caught in boredom or apathy because one sees the goals have been accomplished. However, one is never limited by talents, just by judgments. Yeah, judgment has been on my mind a lot this week and last week. Literally take the 30,000 foot view. That's just what I keep getting. Stop judging people. Don't say, what's wrong with them? Say, why are they behaving like this? You know, and love them in their space where they're at. However, one is never limited by talents, just like I said, by judgment. So working at creating and using the gifts that you were born with or that are bestowed upon you on this journey. So Wild Yam, one of the wonderful things about this deck I love is that you get to use the essence of this herb or whatever herb that comes with a card. Wild Yam, spiritually, just as this root draws into itself concentrated energy from very deep in the earth, it's a root vegetable, it will reveal accumulated energy and power. So it's literally saying, all of the experiences that you've had up to this very point made you, like, maybe you'll find like an interaction or something this week, and I have these interactions frequently. You'll find an interaction with somebody where you're like, this is exactly why I went through whatever I was going through, because I could be here to help this person with this thing. And another thing was coming up for me when Oprah was talking about her interview with why trauma affects some people when it doesn't for others. And Dr. Perry was saying it's because of our relationships with others or the love that we find from others. And one of the primary relationships that Oprah felt profoundly changed her was her 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Duncan. And I was thinking to myself, maybe we're not all Oprahs, but we sure as shit can be Mrs. Duncans in people's lives, okay? And how do you know that the people that you're affecting aren't going to be like the Oprahs in the world? You know, like, can you imagine that? Like, wow, like, because I was loving to this child blossomed to become like this huge, profound, like, you know, multimedia mogul or whatever. So you never know the things that, you know, the role that you play in people's lives. Your specific background can be just the thing, just the way to witness this person so that they can grow and blossom. So anyways, I felt like that needed to come through. Wild yam root is a valuable antispasmodic for treating bowel spasms, hiccups, menstrual cramps, and muscle pain. It's used in the treatment of arthritis and inflammation. Here's the thing. As a biostimulant, it treats colic. It's useful in the correction of intestinal gas. To me, it sounds like it's just going to help you keep flowing. And if anybody's interested, these cards always give you the dose of how you can apply them. If you cannot acquire wild yam anywhere as you're applying this energy Monday and Tuesday, you can always think of the essence of this herb. You can just think about it. You can maybe print a picture of it or whatever, just write wild yam. If you're into shamanic medicine, usually you can have a little medicine bag. You can put the essence of it, like I said, the little note with it written in there, and put it in the medicine bag, put it around you, and you're carrying that with you. This sense of, energy very deep from the earth, So an affirmation you can say, I feel the abundance of my life and fully embrace it. Everything you've gone through is abundance. Everything is either a lesson or a blessing. So, and you can always profoundly affect other people in a positive way. So let's move on to Wednesday, Thursday. The High Priestess. Ooh. Okay, High Priestess, Major Arcana. Major Arcana card is basically, again, if you've been on here a few times, it's representative of major, like lifelong themes, or profound energy shifts, not just like maybe a situational thing where the four suits are. So Wednesday, Thursday is going to be talking about something related to maybe a lifelong thing that you have going on, more like a deep-rooted energy pattern that you have going on. So let's get to that. And all right, let's see what we got here. Okay, the High Priestess embodies the pure power of the feminine receptive principle. She is in touch with the universal mind. She has had many names in her past, and at one point was none other than the ancient Egyptian goddess Isis, who was able to give life to the god Osiris after his death. Thus, around her neck is the sacred Ankh. Okay, hold on. I don't know if you can see that. The key of life. She was also the Virgin Mary. How funny. Didn't we just talk about her? I feel her spirit around. Mary's always with me. Who contained within herself the seed of spirit to be manifested on earth. Her left foot rests on the crescent moon. Let me just hold this up the whole time. Her left foot rests on the crescent moon, symbolizing her dominion of and oneness with inner reflection and the natural cycles of life. Very much be like in your feminine in the middle of the week. For some reason, you're supposed to be understanding that there's a balance needed. So enthroned between the two pillars of light and dark, balance, she is in a state of silent equilibrium. With a veil over her eyes, she is mute, looking within to the subconscious, in other words, to the consciousness that resides behind all the outer manifestations, the world behind your eyes, okay? She knows there's a uniting consciousness behind all aspects of life. The blue color of her garment and the clouds in the sky are indicative of the watery elements over which she reigns. And water is the source of life in that it contains all the thoughts and substances needed for life's expression. Through our own inner High Priestess, we're able to tap into our potential creativity and are better able to understand how all aspects of our life are united. So I'm getting this feeling like, okay, maybe Monday, Tuesday, you had a situation where you got to apply your own gifts, but Wednesday, Thursday, you're going to be kind of in a sort of sense of debrief about it and really think of, go into your feelings about it. Don't think too hard, but like stay in balance about it. And where you'll have a greater understanding of where you fit into the fabric of life. Okay. So all we're not separate. Nobody's separate. One of my favorite sayings lately is that that Buddhist quote, whenever you feel like someone's judging you or you're feeling like you're judging someone else, say, I am not what you think I am. You are what you think I am. And every time I've said that, it's like, wow, that's so true. Like, whenever I'm feeling like aggravated, it's like you can't love somebody in a space of aggravation because you're not loving that aspect of yourself. So just keep this like in perspective. You're all, you know, we're all interwoven. We're all interwoven. And it's like, most of us here already know this, but it's just applying it to everyday activities. You know, we can think up here in like a really like, what's the word? Idealistic place, but applying it to your everyday life in everyday ways. You know, like, hey, maybe I let somebody else have that parking space. And, you know, guess what? Someone paid for my parking, you know, like stuff like that. So just remember, we're all interwoven. And when we're feeling really like judgy or like fussy or whatever it is, like towards somebody else or just getting on our nerves, we're the source of it. We're the source of our own chaos. So go within. Remember, we are all weaving the fabric of humanity together. I have to always remind myself of this. And it's always when you're like at your least tolerant of other people's nonsense that Spirit will send you some really humbling situation to remind you of this. Like, okay, thank you. I remember now. So I'm getting this just feeling like, just remember that we're all one. And when you're in this compassionate place, start with yourself, because most of the time we're saying some really like crazy stuff over and over in our heads. And it's easy to, you know, be kind to others more than it is ourselves. And so to start with yourself, to get one with yourself, make space for yourself. So, all right. So the herb that's associated with a high priestess is a peony. Peony is really a flower, but peony root helps to foster and harmonize the feminine energy within. Most of us women, we are, yes, we're women, but we're in our masculine a lot. Our culture asks us to keep up with the masculine because that's what's been overvalued. And now we're starting to see things like, instead of what kind of career do you have, how much do you make, what sort of degree do you have you gone to school, things like, is your family happy, do you have a sense of satisfaction in your life, are your relationships well nourished? These are the feminine qualities that, you know, the high priestess is asking us to look at. That's our measurement of not accomplishment, but a measure of where we have the ability to influence other people. So again, fostering harmony, foster and harmonize the feminine energy. Okay, it allows the circulation of our subconscious to flow and move, thus enabling us to get in touch with our essential nature. And so many of us, and I've actually seen more men in their feminine, because men, in my opinion, in our culture, because they're the big macho man or whatever, like in the past they were supposed to be head of household or whatever, they hold space for everyone else to be able to just kind of be all out of control and whatever. You know, when I think of the real strong masculine or protector father, they're almost, to me, that's almost like feminine. They're like they're letting you, they're just standing tall and they're holding space for you while you're having your moment. So you can do that for yourself. Like, you know what, I'm gonna just witness myself in this moment of, you know, being feminine here. So that's the balance, the equilibrium. You yourself can give you everything you need. You can be in your divine masculine and you can be in your divine feminine. Neither are bad. It's when they get one's over the other. You know, if you're too much in your feminine, you know, airy fairy, you're not really like putting to work any of your thoughts or feelings, you know, that sort of thing. If you're too much in your masculine, then you're maybe perhaps too linear thinking. You're not allowing yourself to process what's happening, how you feel about it, that sort of type of thing. So just sort of take stock. This is telling you, take stock, like, where am I right now? Am I really balanced out? Am I really allowing myself to process? Am I just staying in airy-fairy feeling land? You know, what do I need to do here? And you already know what you need to do. So meditations with the flower or with a picture of the flower, again, the essence of it, help one to embrace the high priestess within. Men who are yearning to understand their softer, intuitive sides may partake in this wonderful herb as well. Women who use this herb on a regular basis will learn how to accept and work with the metamorphosis she goes through from childhood, puberty, motherhood, menopause, and then the wise crone. I love the wise crone. To me, the wise crone, the old wise woman, the old medicine woman, she's one of my spirit guides. So lots of culmination of wisdom there, right? So let's move on to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What do we have? Queen of Swords. Swords. Okay. So swords are I want to say the fire sign, because wand is the fire sign. I always remember because of Harry Potter with his wand, and he zaps people with his wand, his little lightning bolt of fire. So swords are like the air, because, you know, cut through the air. So it's the air element. This is how I remember things. So do what you need to do to remember it. Lady Slipper. It's another beautiful flower. What does the Queen of Swords want us to know about the weekend here? Queen of Swords. So I'm going to look at your comments too here. Give me a second, because you know I have the attention span of a flea. The Queen of Swords has cut through the chains of limited thinking and ideas. She stands on her own, ready to look ahead with clear vision. Her purple garment shows her openness to receiving inspirations, and her red sash indicates her willingness to manifest them. The sword in her left hand shows her unwavering intent to cut through untruth and confusion. She stands with bare feet firmly planted on the earth, exhibiting her willingness to manifest her ideas in this reality and to remain balanced. So, because of her clarity and insightfulness, she's able to help others to see themselves in a more objective and balanced way. So I'm getting a total theme for this week, which is not only the more balanced we become and the more insightful we are about ourselves, the more we're able to witness that in somebody else and maybe hold space for them. So this weekend, if nothing else, it might be challenging for you if you haven't been aware of the effects that you're having on other people, or they're having on you, or you've just allowed them to like create chaos for you. You get to decide how you're interacting with them. So she stands with her bare feet firmly planted on the earth. That's saying ground yourself. When you ground yourself, you are aware of how you feel. You're not responding to the chaos, the noise in the world behind your eyes. You're responding in a very grounded, neutral place, and maybe you can stay in a much higher vibrating place when you're responding to other people. So her high-sightedness must not be used to be critical, vengeful, and unyielding. These ways will eventually wear on her nervous system and create tremendous imbalances to body, mind, spirit. So again, high-sightedness, kind of like it's easy to be like, well, I'm holier than thou because I know and see everything. But you know what? Just when I start feeling like, oh, I know I have everything together, something happens where, nope, you're very low resonating. Like, it's just very humbling. Like I said, Spirit loves to like put me in this humbling situation where I just have to remember, again, we're all students. Use our power wisely. That's, I guess, the message here. Use your power wisely. This beautiful herb creates within us a deeper connection to the earth. That's the Lady Slipper, alleviating imbalance and nervousness that can manifest when we're opening ourselves to new channels of thought. So another thing that I want to say, when you're going through ascension, which is basically up-leveling your consciousness, getting into a higher vibrating place of thought, it can feel freaking uncomfortable. It's like asking you to learn, you know, I don't know, whenever I had to learn something new, it was exhausting. Like your brain just put out so much energy learning something new, learning a new way. Be kind to yourself. Let yourself relax. Like give yourself some time this week, you know, as you're maybe going through this whole process of, you know, seeing from the 30,000-foot view, holding space for people, really getting grounded about how you think and feel about things. And all of that's like, when you actually try to put it together and let it gel, you're going to be like, whoa, this is a lot of work. Whoa, like I have to focus. You know, anyone who listens to Abraham Hicks, she talks a lot about focusing. When she says, if you hold the thought for 67 seconds, you know, it becomes a steady vibration. But I don't know about you, but 60 seconds is the longest minute of my life if I'm really focusing on it. You know, think about that. If we stood there, if we all sat here for a minute in complete silence, that's really awkward and uncomfortable, right? So think about this. Give yourself credit. Like when you're learning a new vibration, a new state of being, give yourself some credit. It takes you like a little bit of time to let it all gel, to let your nervous system upgrade to that feeling, to create new neural pathways, to create that new chemical cocktail in your body. So you kind of like, it took me a long time to learn how to feel good. I know that sounds strange, but feeling good can be anxiety provoking if you're, you know, you have a lot of trauma or whatnot. That's a whole nother conversation. But when you're learning how to feel good, you practice the vibration of it, and that can become, you know, it's like swinging a bat. Literally, like swinging a bat is exactly, you're building a neural pathway to learn how to hit a baseball, right? So when you swing the bat and you hit, you know, you keep practicing it and you finally get the sweet spot and you're always hitting the ball, you've built a neural pathway. So like, you know how to get to the sweet spot real easy. And that's the same thing. Whenever you're starting to build up, finding my happy place, or, you know, my go-to calming, grounding place when I was starting to feel really stressed. You know, in the past I would respond or react, or, you know, just start getting like high-strung and yelling, and my guy would be like, you need to go lay down. And I would get more annoyed with him because I didn't want anybody telling me what to do, because it was just almost like announcing to the world I couldn't control myself. So the point I'm trying to make is, when you are coming from that sort of internal chaos, it takes a little bit of time to learn how to manage your internal barometer, because you control the weather. You know, you get to be the you get to be the thermometer, not the weather, everything going on outside of you. So, okay, so that's what I got out of the Queen of Swords, okay? That's for this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And one last thing, I'm willing to take my visions and dreams and share them with the world around me. So that's the affirmation. Whenever you're feeling like you're grounded on the inside, you're going to feel able to relate in a more connected, present way with the world outside of you, the world in front of your eyes. So, all right. Now, this is the card for the overall week, the energy of the week, Justice. Interesting. I haven't had this one in a while. Plantain is the plant that's related to this card. I don't know about most of you, but plantain to me is a type of, looks like a little banana. Most of the time people cut it up and fry it. So let's see what Justice, which is a major arcana card. Again, that means a big sweeping energy pattern. Hold on, I'm going to get a sip of water here. Okay. Justice emerges out of the dense forest of darkness and confusion, holding the crystal of light in one hand and the scales of balance in the other. Is anyone else getting the impression that we're supposed to be really balanced this week? I think that's one of the messages, focusing on balance. So the displayed sword symbolizes the unqualified search for truth. Her outer cape of red represents strength and power, and the inner gown of pink expresses her compassion. So you may be on a quest or a divine mission or whatnot, but do it from a place of compassion, understanding the humanness of us all. Again, you're weaving your part in humanity, right? Justice, ruled by Libra, represents our internal need for equilibrium. Yes, definitely balance. She is the faithful divine mother, preserving us and maintaining our health, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. She protects those things which are important to us, and with her sword, she carves off what is useless and worn out. So the more in tune with yourself you are, the more in tune you're able to say, I'm holding on to stuff I don't need. Or I know right away this isn't good for me, and it's got to go. So again, carve off what's useless and worn out. Justice is the appreciation and understanding of the laws of nature. When we're in harmony with these laws, we are protected in all ways. When we're in disharmony, pain and personal discomfort arises. Justice teaches us how, through work and action, we can cultivate health for body, mind, spirit by being discriminating in the choices we make for ourselves. She wants to take us toward our innermost joy. So I love that word discriminating, or the phrase discriminating in the choices we make for ourselves. We get to decide. I don't know how many times like I'm in conversation with either I hear myself saying it or other people saying it to me, you know, some situation where we're just frustrated and it's like, well, at what point did you have to obligate yourself to it? Just get out of it. You know, or, you know, you get to decide what you make yourself available for. And I will say that whole phrase of becoming what you make yourself available for, I had no earthly idea what the hell that meant for years. Until I understood that when my energy was just like all over the place and I had no boundaries, it really, it's like other people sense that chaos and either will inadvertently take advantage of it or will deliberately take advantage of it. You may attract some characters who, in your life, the relationship will only work if you have no boundaries. So what I'm getting out of this is start trusting that you get to decide what comes and goes in your life. And if it goes, let it go. If it's meant to go, you know, if it's meant to stay, it's going to stay no matter what you do. So, and ultimately, your energy throughout the week, just pay attention to, is the way I'm doing things, is it serving me? Am I really staying in the balance that I need? So, okay. Yeah, by creating greater balance within, I create more joy in my life. And this is so true. Okay, I will say that when you are more balanced, you're more grounded, you have more to give. You're from that place of infinite resourcefulness. You're more resourced because you're more tapped into source. And this is what I mean by what do you make yourself available for? I choose to be available for being resourced by source instead of being available for low resonating things that aggravate me. So that's kind of what you're choosing, you know, discriminate what you choose to pay attention to or become available for. Okay, so that's what we have for the reading for this week. And okay, so hi Hope, I see your messages. I know you sent them a while back. Okay, interesting. I tried tapping in an energy kyanite. Yes, kyanite. I'm not familiar with kyanite. Interesting. Maybe you could tell us more about that. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside and we're going to pull cards for Shelly, Kimberly, Samantha, Michelle, Shayna, Christy. And did you want one as well, Hope? I'm going to try to do this really quickly here because we're getting dangerously close to Walking Dead time for me here. So this is going to be for Shelly. Cutting the deck. One more time. Cut it in 3 times. So, suspended person. Interesting. And okay, I will say, just because this looks kind of awkward or weird, it doesn't necessarily have a negative connotation. Kelp is the plant associated with this. I got you down, Hope. Okay. Suspended person. So I'm going to try to do this a little bit quicker. Suspended person. Thanks for staying on, guys. There we go. A young person hangs upside down in the divine ocean of life. His or her head and arms form the equilateral triangle known as the water triangle. His or her usual fiery and exuberant nature in life has been reversed, and she is still. The hands which govern the outside world are behind the back. For now, she is working on the inner faculties. The pants are blue, signifying the quieting of the sexual procreative impulses, or those impulses that stimulate further endeavors and creations involving the outside world. The green jacket represents healing and rejuvenation within. So I'm getting this feeling like it's a really good time for you to just sort of get quiet and go within this week. So in a nutshell, just because it's a suspended person, like everything that you would normally get overstimulated with, let it go and just relax into whatever it is that'll get you to the place of being quiet and really feeling into the energy of this week. Okay, so that's what I got from that. All right, so let's pull the next card for Kimberly. Okay. I think what I'm going to do maybe is I don't know if I want to pre-record the weekly one, and then we can do this card pull party because I like this, reading it specifically for you. What do you guys think? Do you want to do it? Do you want to do you mind if it's this long? Or you guys been hanging in there? You let me know. I'm good either way. So this is for Kimberly. Three of Swords. Three of Swords. Covering my face here. Pleurisy root. Pleurisy, if those of you who are not familiar. Yeah, okay. Anyone else like the pre-recorded one for the weekly, and then we can just do the actual live card pull for each of you? That might be a little more time friendly. So yeah, all right, cool. Okay, so I think maybe that's what I might do. Pleurisy root, those of you who don't know, pleurisy is an inflammation of the lining of your lungs. What is swords? Swords is all about air, the air element. And so the Three of Swords refers to, and of course air, your lungs, letting in air. Three of Swords pierce the heart, which is surrounded by dark clouds. There's a need to heal past relationships and shattered ideals. Sadness, depression, and memories of difficult separations are in one's thoughts and needs to be released. So if this is what's going on with you, in relationship to the whole week of just let people be human, this might be a good card for you to forgive some people from your past, especially if it's something that's like you're nursing an old wound, like something that isn't serving you anymore, to hold on to it. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. It could be enormous. It could be just a little thing. It could be something like, so-and-so didn't remember you for your birthday last year, and now it's shaded your whole relationship. Something like that. But literally this week, actively go to the source of it and release it. Let it out, because this is the time to let it out, forgive, and look at other people for just, maybe they were just, rather than, well, they were neglecting me and they're not as good a friend to me as they were, or something like that. Literally, maybe they had a lot going on that week. Let them be human, and let yourself be human too. Acknowledge your feelings, but release the hurt, release the sadness, and the depression, and honor the memories and let them go. So this is the week to do it, but allow people to be human, and yourself included. So that was for Kimberly. I'm definitely thinking I like that pre-recorded idea, because I really want to have more time to like give you guys your own individual cards. Okay, so this is for Samantha. If you're still here, if you're not, then I hope you get to watch this again. Say hi if y'all are still here. Yes, Samantha's here. Christy, yes. Shelley, okay, perfect. Yeah, so I think the consensus is let's pre-record the weekly one. So it's just sort of out there and you guys can listen to it and re-listen to it, and it's not an hour-and-a-half video. And then we can do this card pull party live. I think that's what I'll do. So, perfect. All right, here we go. Four of Cups, the water element. Burdock. Burdock was one of my favorites. Awesome. Yay, you're still here, Christy. Woohoo. Hi, Michelle. And Shanna. Yay. Good, you guys are still here. Woo. All right. Burdock was one of my favorites. I used to have a whole trunk full of mason jars full of herbs, and I just really enjoyed burdock root. And in fact, I'm building that up again in my new house. Woo! All right, so Four of Cups. And the water element is all about emotion. And this one here, again, just a reminder, this is for Samantha. All right. A woman watching the stream of life appears satiated and disinterested in an offering of the Four Cups for her. Sometimes it seems that despite achieving all the rewards of friendship, family, and children, something yet is missing. It may be difficult to feel connected with what is happening in the outer world when we feel disconnected from the self within. So there's that world behind our eyes. When you're feeling that chaos in the world behind your eyes, or even apathy. We talked a lot about the map of consciousness, the different levels of emotion. And if you're in apathy and you're just sort of unable to receive, it's going to make it really hard for you to connect to anybody. You become what's called emotionally unavailable. Okay? It may be difficult to feel connected to what is happening in the outer world when we feel disconnected from the self within. Nothing is lost if we allow a few opportunities and experiences to pass us by. So in other words, sometimes you go through something where you're just sort of full up. Like, I'm all full, like, I can't deal, and that's cool. Like, sometimes you just, it is what it is. And if you're going through that this week, while, you know, the whole general theme was, you know, let other people be in their humanness, in their space of being human, you know, let yourself, like, it's cool. Like, you don't have to just fix everything. You don't have to deal with everything. You can decide, you know what, let spirit deal with this. I'm done. Or, you know, again, perhaps it's time to contemplate those things which are more lasting value. Like, I don't need to get tangled up in the minutia of all the little petty irritations I went through this week. It's just time to chill. And the bigger picture is, you know, I have a great family, I've got friends, whatever. The things that really matter are there. So don't overlook the gifts offered to you. Be grateful for the smallest blessing in your life. Sometimes to me, it's like, man, like, I should be so grateful. Like, you know, for me, I'm very grateful because you know, first of all, you guys are here, and I'm so glad that you guys decided to stay on with me for a whole hour and a half and later in the evening. So I am really grateful. You know, it's just those little things that we could easily, you know, if I'd been caught up in, oh my God, this weekend was crazy, it was a long day, you know, look at your perspective. What could you, you know, how can you, I was on this, one of these coaches did an interview with another coach, and she said, PR your life, you know, public relations your life, you know, so like, you know, when you think like Scandal, what is her job? She's there to make like the president look good, or, you know, smooth over crises or scandals, right? And do that to your own life. Like, if you're getting something in your life that looks like, you know, total crap, you know, like me, my financial state this year was terrible. But I look at it like, wow, a total reset. Like, PR your life. Like, how can you re-look at it with like blessing as a blessing, you know, and turn it around for your good. You know what I mean? Like, this is just a really good opportunity for me to learn more about, you know, whatever it is that's going on. So PR your own life. Again, the affirmation, I am open to the blessings that come my way and find inner contentment each day. I mentioned burdock root because it's got blood strengthening properties. What is blood? Blood's used is the thing that carries all of the messengers in your body. So if the thing that is carrying all of your messages to you isn't pure, maybe, you know, you're reliving these things over and over again. It's time to just sort of let go of some stuff, okay? Clean out your old memories so you're not full up on nonsense, okay? Just reset. Just do a reset and think about what really matters. Keep, you know, focus on the blessings. Okay, that's that. All right, now, Michelle. We're gonna do Michelle. Woohoo! All right, I'm gonna drink water here. All right. Thanks for the hearts. Woohoo! Spirit wants to tell us something. Hoo. Okay. Almost there. Ace of Cups. Yeah, we're getting into the emotions today. This one's pretty good. I like that. Dove and Lotus. The Lotus. What is the Lotus? The Lotus is kind of like making lemonade out of lemons. Lotus is like this beautiful flower that grows in like a mud patch, right? So let's see what it has to say here. You can find beauty in the ugliest of places, right? The chalice of overflowing with divine love offered from the hand of the great spirit. This is like double good for you, Michelle, after, you know, just 30,000-foot view and divine love offered from the hand of the great spirit. It's greeted by the dove of peace, the lotus symbol of divine love. The lotus, symbol of divine love, inner peace, and enlightenment, blooms upon the peaceful sea of the mind. Listening to and following the heart's wisdom is the focal point of the Ace of Cups. When we listen to our heart song, we can know our true hopes and desires. Isn't that cute? You're a DJ, your heart song. That's awesome. Okay. The heart is the middle path between our thoughts and our unconscious demands. Okay, so what I'm getting for you, definitely listen to your heart. Stop trying to like rationalize stuff this week. If it doesn't make sense, whatever it is, just do it. Because it's going to unfold in a way that will make sense later, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I listened to my intuition. So that's what I'm getting for you. The heart is the middle path between our thoughts and our unconscious demands. And what is song? Song is your, you know, your throat is where song comes out. Well, here's your mind, your heart's here, and what's your middle path? The throat, right? So you get some songs in you that need to come out. It knows without having to figure it out. When we move to the heart's path, we find deeper inner peace and divine grace bestowed upon us. Devotion, faith, and dedication to spirit are all manifested in us when the path of love is acknowledged in our lives. That sounds like a pretty good, what do you call it, message for you this week. So nearly all parts of the lotus have a use. The leaf is taken as a tea to treat fevers, irritability, excessive sweating, you name it. The nodes of the root also have nutritive astringent properties. So in other words, like, find some lotus if you can, or even just the essence of it, and hold it to you this week. Meditate on it. Just herbal essence may be taken throughout the day, like 3 drops at a time, to foster love for others and the divine. So that's like, I'm getting happy feelings just saying this. Okay, following your heart. That's what you need to do this week. Whatever it is, follow your heart. With pure devotion, I open myself to the wisdom of my heart. So, already. That's that one. And now, Shayna, Let's see, we got a card for Shayna. All right. Come on, Spirit. What do you got for us? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Michelle. My pleasure. Okay. Ooh, medicine wheel. Slippery elm. That's another good one. This is how much of a nerd I was. My mom had this herbal medicine book by a lady named Diane Dinson Buckman, and it was from like the 70s. And I would just read like a big old nerd what each one of the plants would do. I was just like called to it. So anyway, slippery elm is one of my favorites. As I recall, slippery elm is like something you take for like sore throats and things like that. It's like a natural lozenge for your mucosal lining. Okay, medicine wheel, which is the major arcana. So this is something to do with the big energy pattern in your life, or a piece of your life path. Something big is here for you. Okay, the medicine wheel is the Native American symbol, sacred symbol honoring the 4 directions in the cycles of life. Yep. Medicine wheels have been found atop mountain peaks throughout the world, attesting to the universal reverence for the symbol. They are used for prayers and meditations and as symbols for bringing down to earth the sacred power of heaven. So I'm getting this feeling like stuff like this, where we called in the 4 winds. You too can call in the 4 winds. Okay, this is something that I think you need to do every day. Something to give yourself some sacred space to really make that time mandatory for yourself. Not in a, oh my God, I have to do this, but like, nope, nobody else is going to interfere in this kind of thing. Usually the large stone representing the Great Spirit is placed in the center. You're the large stone, okay? The outer stones represent the 4 directions and the cycles of the seasons and life. And on this card, the slippery elm tree is placed in the center and is used to symbolize the Great Spirit that gives strength, energy, comfort, and nourishment to all. Okay, ruled by Jupiter, the benevolent planet, the medicine wheel card depicts the cycles and turning points in our lives. So you might be going through some new rite of passage, a different stage of life, and you're just sort of kind of marking time. You're sort of like, you know what, like, I don't know, just something big is shifting for you. Hopefully that makes sense. So the medicine wheel asks us to be open to changes, and if we should lose our way, to move back to the center of the wheel. Again, that sacred space. Take that time, do your sacred space, call in the 4 winds, ask for your spirit guides to give you the information you need, and really make it something that's sacred to you. And I know it sounds like, well, duh, but we don't do it because we're in such a ritual-starved culture. We're in such a distracted culture that, like, before you know it, instead of doing your sacred space time, you scrolled on Facebook for an hour and a half. So pay attention to those things. Tend to your inner world. So that's in addition to all the other stuff we talked about this week. So there you go. All right. And then last, we have Christy and Hope. And already we did like 2 hours. Oh my goodness, you guys are awesome for being here. Thank you. All right. There we go. Yeah, give me hearts. Give me hearts. Woo. Let's see. This is for Christy. There you go. All right. I got a little boy at the door. Hold on, dude. I'll be back. I'm almost done. See, it's been 2 hours. No. Okay. Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. Pentacles, Earth sign, and Gentian. Okay, this is kind of a funny thing that I associate Gentian with. When I was in the Navy as a hospital corpsman, we would have, and I was stationed at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, whenever people would come to us with what we would call tinea corpus or jock itch, we would give them gentian root because it would dry everything out. And they would tell them to lay on top of the roof of the barracks with this like gentian root is like literally like this bright blue inky looking colored stuff, and they have to smear themselves with it and dry out their jock itch basically and their foot fungus. So but anyway, gentian is a beautiful bright blue color, and all that aside, it's a very earthy plant. Three of Pentacles here. So Master Gardener is working with the earth. His fertile fields are all around him. During the waning moon, and we are in the waning moon, by the way, his hat forms the infinity sign. He is in tune with the cycles of nature. On his pocket is the Greek letter theta. Body, mind, and spirit are working in harmony to create a dynamic power. The gardener has ideals, but is also a practical man and works with the reality at hand. He is able to handle the mundane and see, there we go, and sees it as a part of the steps needed to create his vision. So maybe some little everyday steps going on in your life this week could be part of your way to connect with the divine. He cooperates with nature and with his co-workers. He can persevere through obstacles and knows that the creative forces work through him. His fiery, earthy nature must harmonize so that he cannot only be not only exuberant, but grounded, focused, and patient as well. So we're getting all kinds of like, be balanced. Hey, Charlotte. Okay, so yes, that's awesome. He must work at assimilating more skills and at cultivating deeper understanding as a foundation for further development of his talents. He knows that he will eventually reap what he sows. So this is a good time for you to just sort of take it all in as you're finding everyday ways to, you know, allow other people to be more human, you know, and just go with the flow. You're essentially, like I was saying, learning a new way of being. And you'll reap what you sow. Just let it be in the really simple, mundane ways. That's what I'm getting out of this. Gentian is a very bitter tonic for the digestion, liver, and gallbladder. Its most common use is as a digestive bitter with alcohol, taken in small doses before meals. Yeah. The flower essence of gentian is used for those who become easily deterred by setbacks. So if you're feeling like kind of maybe I'm not as far along as I wanted to be, let yourself just focus on the essence of gentian to help you start again, move forward through the mundane. Yeah, oh, cool. I'm glad it resonates. For some reason, just that feeling of just start over. Just start over. Just let it be easy. With consciousness and care, I plant the seeds of my life and reap the results of my actions. The challenges and disappointments of my life can be a source of strength and inner growth. There you go. All right. Okay, so we got Christy. We did you. And now hope. Let's end with hope. A new hope. Okay, any Star Wars fans here? Okay. And let's see. And you guys are awesome. So happy I stayed on this long. Okay. Ooh, 6 of Cups. Okay, there we go. And it's watermelon. If you are unaware, watermelon is kind of like natural Gatorade. It has literally, they call it watermelon because it has so much water in it, but it helps you with electrolytes, natural electrolytes. Hi, Debbie. Let's see. 6 of Cups. Again, a water element. The cups are the suit of the water element. 6 of Cups. So, 2 children play love. The boy, bedecked in roses symbolizing desires of the heart, is making an offering of watermelon to the girl, who is standing in attentive detachment. Interesting. This card shows a need to touch in with childlike innocence of loving and add more playtime to one's life. At this stage of a relationship, there is no serious commitment. To achieve this, both partners will have to be willing to scale the lofty peaks of commitment for a deeper bond. Emotional immaturity and toying with another's feelings are to be watched for. These can only create a feeling of instability and eventual betrayal. Well, let's see. Watermelon is used as a cooling refrigerant in hot weather. I did not know that. It is useful to give when there are symptoms of heat stroke and associated thirst. Again, like I said, it's good for fluid retention, edema. It's natural Gatorade, basically. After you work out, eat a whole bunch of watermelon, and you'll rehydrate yourself way better than drinking Gatorade. Ideally, let yourself be innocent about things, but don't be cavalier, if that makes sense. Lovingly I give and lovingly I receive the gifts of our friendship. So, in other words, just be more play-like. Have more fun this week. So, play with it. So you're going to take off. Bye, Hope. Okay, well, it is 7:52 my time, and I got 8 minutes to wrap this up, and actually not take that long to wrap it up, but I really think I am enjoying the idea of pre-recording the weekly reading, and then we can do a card pull just for you guys. How does that sound? I'm enjoying that idea. So thank you guys for being here, and Charlotte, let's see. Yeah, Charlotte, let me get you a card. Debbie, do you want a card? Let me see if I can do this real quick before my show comes on. The Walking Dead. But the good news is I have it on DVR, so we're okay. All right. Let's see. All right, this is going to be for Charlotte. And then Debbie. And make sure if you came on a little bit late that you catch the beginning where I did the weekly card pull for everybody, the reading for everybody. Okay. So who's left? I got one person on. Who is that? Is that Charlotte? Let's see. Hold on, let me do this one more time. I'm going to break the deck one more time. Yay, you're here. All right, somebody else popped on. So who we got? We got 2 people left after a 2-hour marathon card pull. You guys are awesome. Okay. This is Charlotte's card. Three of Swords. This one popped up earlier for somebody else. Okay. The gist of this one is, okay, pleurisy root, and the Swords is the suit of air, okay? And air and pleurisy, if you're unfamiliar, is like a disease of the lining of the lungs. So pleurisy root is often used to treat inflammation on the lining outside of your lungs or your ability to breathe in. So take a deep breath. 3 swords. And if I remember correctly, if you're nursing some old wound or heartbreak or some sort of grief or depression, it's time to release it and let it go. This is the week to do it for you. Okay. Maybe something old, something that's just sort of keeps coming up. Oh, you're welcome, Shana. Yeah. So sadness, depression, and memories of difficult separations are in one's thoughts and need to be released. So this is like really, this came up twice. So it seems like it's not lost on me that my latest, I don't want to say my latest, but like it's been on my heart lately to talk about abandonment, and it's talking about memories of difficult separation. So if you're having something, or memory of a betrayal or an abandonment or something, it's time to heal that wound. It's time to really do the work and excavate all the shit and let it come out and free yourself from that pain or that disappointment, because you don't need to keep reliving it over and over and over again. Now, if that doesn't resonate with you in particular, just remember it can also be how you may have felt guilty about doing that to somebody else. So it kind of, for some reason, I don't know if it's like directly related to you. Let me know if this is resonating in any way. Okay, well, it's been the messages. Yeah, there you go. Just for some reason, it's time to let go. Like either you did the leaving or you got left, but either way, the story doesn't, you're done telling the story. It doesn't need to be told anymore. And that's a good thing. So, and I know that feeling because I have stories too. That's my message. I gotta let it go, because it's just hurting you to hold on to it. So, Debbie, this is for you. All right. The High Priest. Man, I don't know. Spirit's like, I don't know if we did him earlier, or that was a High Priestess. The High Priest. He's sage. Sage is the herb. So sage has a, did you know this? But sage, when you smudge a room, you're purifying the negative energy in a room. But sage has been proven scientifically to kill bacteria in the air. So our native practice of smudging, many times we knew stuff inherently, like if we do this, then this results in this way. Like we just knew it intuitively, instinctively that, this herb has these qualities. And I didn't know, like now, to me, spirit is just science not yet proven. So the High Priest, something to do with getting rid of some old crap. That's pretty much what sage does. It helps purify you and protects you. The High Priest represents our own inner teacher. After we have come to the end of our reasoning process, we must jump into the realm of inner guidance. The High Priest is there waiting for us, for he knows what we need both physically and spiritually, and stands as the bridge between the two pillars representing practical and spiritual knowledge. So the High Priest is ruled by Taurus, the sign of inherited talents, values tenacity, earthiness, and results. The High Priest uses all of his Taurian capabilities in order to teach and guide us in a stable and real manner. He is that small voice we hear inside when we take the time to ask the question, silence our minds, and just listen. He is practical in application of wisdom and is willing to live his life according to inner dictates. So what I'm getting is it may be time for you to clear out some space, maybe smudge a little with the sage, and also really take a little bit of time to be in silence with yourself and just listen. Listen for spirit, listen for the things that you need to hear. And again, the herb has been burned in sacred ceremonies of the Native Americans for inner and outer purification. So I'm going to be smudging my new house. If you have a house that you haven't smudged yet, it's well worth looking into. And it's a little bit of a process, but it's worth, you know, having somebody do it for you if you're not familiar, or learning how to do it for yourself. Sage awakens the inner guide. So when you think of like a sagely person, they have wisdom. They have a lot of wisdom. You have all the wisdom you need, and I think that's what you need to know right now. You have everything you already need. So there we have it. All right. So that's it for this week. A full 2 hours of the card pull party. And I think we'll be able to cut this down to an hour if I pre-record the the weekly one ahead of time. So, all right. There we go. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And I will hopefully see you this Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time for conversations about the universe. I'd like to continue talking about the map of consciousness, because I really think that so many of us are just waking up to the idea that we can control our thoughts and our feelings, and we get to move further up. We get to resonate at a level that we want to. And as this relates to maybe trauma in our life, or blocks that we think we're in, or you know, depending on the thing that's keeping you in your mind from reaching full self-actualization. So that's what I want to talk about this week. But we're also here to talk about what you want. And when I get my new office all set up, and this week I'm going to come on my phone. That way I can invite people to be on the Facebook Live with me. Because if you do it from your PC, it won't allow people to hop on. But the following week, I'm going to try to see if I can set up a Zoom room that hooks up to, I've been told that Zoom can connect to Facebook, and all of you guys can pop on through Zoom on Facebook. So if I can find the way to do this, I think that would be awesome. So maybe we can do the card pulls that way too. That way we can interact a little bit more. So thank you guys for being here, and I love you, and you guys have an amazing week, and I'll see you hopefully Thursday. Bye for now.